Some stories from before the revolution. One major event for yours truly took place in Poana Brașov. That's Poana Brașov, I guess, about 1 year or so before 1989, not to be 1988. In 1989, again, before the revolution, I am up there for a few days, expecting a group of children, again in December 1989, and then I will go back. And I spent a few days with a delegate who had a British young fellow from their side. We were looking at facilities, the rooms, the food, to see if it's all right, because we were supposed to welcome a series of, who knows, 10 groups, one after another. December 89 through January, maybe even a few in February 1990. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it didn't happen. The group arriving on December, I think it was 16th, 17th, it must have been evening of 16th, when the revolution started in Timișoara. This group of children, British children, is trapped at the Bucharest airport, some 5 kilometers that way, I think. I mean, I'm not sure about the mileage, the distance, but it's that way, and it's not far. In no man's land, because again, the people started protesting against Ceausescu Cam's regime in Timișoara, 16th, 17th of December, and the dictator decides to close the borders. And as this group had landed, entered customs and in the area between the exit and the entrance, they just closed the borders, and I was that guy, and for quite some time I didn't know what to tell them. Indeed, in fact, I will learn from them. Some representative from the embassy came, because the group was mentioned at either Free Europe or Voice of America, or maybe both, trapped in this foolishness, madness of a tyrant. And so they came from the embassy, and the embassy told them what they knew about Timișoara. I had no idea. I had no idea, because being in Poana Brașov, which is a resort in the mountains, sort of isolated place, I didn't have access to the rumors, to the radio, field or something. So I had no idea. Then they told me what we're getting there. That's one of the shortcomings, one of the reasons I get so many unlikes, dislikes lately. Accepted. There's not a definite threat here. But before that, that's the winter of terminal 1987, 88, I guess. And we have had a series of groups from England, Britain, skiing, and we for perhaps 70, maybe 100 staying at the same time. We were too responsible for quality of food, for solving problems, if any, with the rooms and other things. But I was, of the two, we were, myself, how old was I? 24, 3, and thereabouts at the time. And there was this lady twice my age, I'd say, and senior in years, and then with many more years of working with an owner in the tourist office. She would mostly sit and eat. I'm just being mean at the table, and I was in charge with accidents. So every day you had one or a couple of more people falling, in fact, on the slopes, and one or two would be a bit more serious, or suspected to be. In any case, you had to get them to, as I mentioned, small town, a small place, resort villages, some hotels, bigger now with more villas and accommodation built, I think. And telephonic hotel it was that we had, and so I would go every day, once or twice, because two falls were not clearly suspected they could be serious and broken legs, and I would take them from the small resort to Brasov, 8-10 kilometers down the road for the X-rays at the hospital, emergency hospital. Yes, and it was an interesting stay. They gave me this because I was in the period of school interruption. I mentioned before, took 2 years off to work to help support my family and some other reasons. Father had died and so on. And incidentally, I don't believe in black magic, card reading, anything. But before he died, I had a feeling that this will happen. And I was saying goodbye to him. He was in the what's the name of that hospital? Fontaine Hospital. And he was saying, waving in the balcony hospital there. And I was in the bus station waiting for 102 or whatever bus. I was looking and I had that thing, something's happening. He was seriously ill, that's true. He had been for, in fact, quite some years and was not doing well. Terminal disease, cirrhosis of the liver. But I had no reason to be more worried then. And it's just, I'm saying, it was a feeling. It was you would call it premonition otherwise. So that was the thing. And a nice anti-communist, sort of a little dissonant, listening to Radio Free all the time, doing some sort of trade which would undermine communist economy as much as he could. With this thing, Buena Brasov, and the event, we'll talk more tomorrow, inshallah.